The shuttle station above Delta Lyra 9 was a blur of neon signs, multilingual announcements, and tired travelers. I wasn't supposed to be there. My original ticket should have routed me to Mars for a job interview, but a clerical glitch, a confused AI gate operator, and my own inability to argue in 6 dialects of trade pidgin landed me on the wrong ship. Instead of the red dunes of Mars, I stepped out into the humid air of a jungle moon, with bioluminescent vines hanging from kilometer-high trees and the smell of strange spices everywhere. "Welcome to Ozurin," a tall insectoid customs officer droned, stamping my documents with a sound like cracking glass. "Enjoy the festivities." Festivities? Had no clue. I just wanted to find a terminal to reroute myself back to civilization. But before I could ask directions, a crowd swept me into the streets. Music, haunting, layered with alien harmonics, rolled through the air. People of every species I'd ever read about, and many I hadn't, were dressed in ceremonial garb. Feathers, shells, silks that shimmered like liquid. It didn't take me long to realize I'd stumbled into a wedding. And not just any wedding. Judging from the floating processional platforms, the jeweled banners, and the planetary broadcast drones hovering overhead, this was a royal wedding. I tried to slip away, but the tide of celebrants carried me into a massive courtyard carved out of living crystal. Lanterns filled with glowing plasma floated in the sky. 1,000 voices sang as 2 figures approached the altar. I stood awkwardly near the back, feeling like the only human in a sea of alien nobility. And then my mistake. I made eye contact. She was tall, draped in black silks that shimmered with the faintest crimson glow. Her skin was pale as moonlight, her eyes a deep red that seemed to burn and freeze me at once. And her smile, sharp, knowing, almost predatory. The woman crossed the crowd with deliberate grace. Every alien she passed bowed their heads, parting before her. By the time she reached me, the hair on my arms stood on end. "You do not belong here, human," she said, her voice a velvet whisper that carried above the music. I swallowed hard. "That obvious, huh?" Instead of scolding me, she extended a pale hand. "Dance with me." And blinked. "Dance?" "You were staring," she said with a slight tilt of her head. "On Ozurin, that is a request. You wished for my company. Now I grant it." I almost protested. I hadn't wished for anything except to survive unnoticed, but her crimson eyes didn't seem to allow refusal. Her hand was cold like polished stone when I took it. The crowd parted again, and suddenly we were at the center of the courtyard as the music shifted. First I stumbled. The rhythm wasn't human, layered with odd time signatures, but somehow she guided me, her movements precise yet fluid. She didn't just dance, she commanded the space. I became part of her orbit, drawn helplessly into her gravity. As we spun beneath the lanterns, whispers followed us. Caught fragments of alien speech. The Blood Queen dances. With a human. Unthinkable. My pulse quickened. Blood Queen. That explained the fangs I glimpsed when she smiled. When the song ended, she leaned close, her lips near my ear. "You still haven't asked my name." I didn't want to assume," I stammered. She laughed softly. "I am Lady Serenia of the Nyx Dominion. My kind are called vampires in your human myths." "And you are?" "Daniel," I said. "Daniel Reeves. Just a very lost man who boarded the wrong shuttle." Her gaze sharpened. "Lost things often find themselves where they are most needed." That sent a chill down my spine. The wedding continued around us. Ceremonies of binding vows, offerings to ancestral spirits, but Serenia remained by my side. She asked questions about Earth, about humans, about our fragile mortality. Her curiosity was sharp, tinged with hunger, though whether it was intellectual or something darker, I couldn't tell. I asked why she wasn't part of the royal couple. Her expression darkened. "The bride is my cousin," she said. "This union binds the Ozarin and the Nyx Dominion, ending centuries of Cold War. But peace comes with its own dangers. Enemies gather in shadows, jealous of this alliance." Her crimson eyes locked on me. And sometimes, Daniel Reeves, a single human arriving uninvited at such a moment can tip the balance of fate. I laughed nervously. "Me? I'm nobody." Serena's lips curved in a smile. "No, you are different. Your kind does not kneel as easily as others. That is why I chose you to dance." Before I could respond, the sky above us crackled with energy. A shadow spread across the crystal courtyard. Warships. The guests screamed as energy blasts rained down, shattering crystal spires. Guards scrambled to protect the royal couple. The attackers had chosen their moment well. Serena didn't flinch. She seized my arm with strength that was anything but human. "Come with me." We raced through burning corridors as alien soldiers poured into the palace. They were reptilian, armored, carrying weapons that spat molten plasma. I had no business being in the middle of it, but Serena moved like liquid shadow, claws flashing, eyes glowing. She cut through enemies as though the battle was her dance floor, and I stumbled after her, adrenaline carrying me forward. At one point a soldier cornered me, weapon raised. Serena appeared between us, her cloak unfurling like wings. Her fangs flashed as she struck, draining the soldier in seconds before tossing the husk aside. Her lips glistened red. I froze, horrified and yet unable to look away. She caught my stare and whispered, "Do not fear me, Daniel. Fear those who would end this night." We reached a high balcony overlooking the battlefield. The attackers were overwhelming the defenders. Serena's cousin and her new husband were being dragged from the altar, their vows broken before they'd even finished. "This wedding was meant to unite two empires," Serena said, fury in her voice. "If it ends in ruin, galaxies will burn." "And what can I do?" I demanded. "I'm just a guy who got on the wrong ship." Her crimson gaze pierced me. "That is exactly why. You are outside their prophecies, beyond their calculations. No one expects you." She handed me a crystalline blade, alien, humming with stored energy. "Stand with me." I wanted to say no. I wanted to run. But something in her voice, in the way she had chosen me when no one else would, made me nod. "All right," I said, gripping the weapon. "Let's dance." The final battle blurred into chaos. Serena and I fought side by side. She, a whirlwind of predatory grace. Me, clumsy but stubborn, slashing and defending with the alien blade. We cut our way to the altar where the royal couple struggled. The enemy commander, a massive reptilian warlord, sneered at us. "A human. This is your champion." Serena bared her fangs. "Yes, and you will regret underestimating him." The warlord lunged. I barely dodged, the heat of his blade searing past my face. Serena struck from the side, but he was fast, forcing her back. "Came down to me the nobody." I remembered her words. Lost things find themselves where needed. Summoning every ounce of fear and fury, I drove the crystalline blade upward. It pierced the warlord's chest, humming violently as it discharged. He roared, then collapsed in a smoking heap.